Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take you a little journey with me to Harlem, New York, where we're going to try and excavate some history. I'm going to visit some of the historical sites that are directly associated with Marcus Garvey and the UNIA. For those of you who don't know who Marcus Garvey is, I'll give you a little history on the man. Marcus Garvey was born in August of 1887 in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica. Marcus Garvey is also the first national hero of the island of Jamaica. Now, as far as the UNIA, that stands for the Universal Negro Improvement Association. This was an organization that Marcus Garvey started in 1914 with his co-founder Amy Ashwood, who later became his wife. Now, in 1916, Marcus Garvey migrated to the United States, where he landed in Harlem, New York, and he also started another chapter of the UNIA. That chapter of the UNIA, where Amy Ashwood later joined him, laid the groundwork for, many would say, the civil rights movement, the ending of the Jim Crow laws in America, black empowerment movement, the Pan-African movement. Marcus Garvey basically is one of the most influential black leaders of the 20th century. So today I'm going to try and just bring a little bit more of the history of the man back to the forefront, because I don't believe we speak about this black leader enough. And hopefully some of you guys that are viewing this video, you could take something away from this video. Maybe you can learn something. If you do and you like the video, all I ask for you is just please hit me with a subscribe. Please click that bell when you subscribe. Like the video. Give me a little comment. Tell me why you liked the video. Tell me if you didn't like the video. Even tell me of other videos that you'd like me to do. I'll try and get something to really take care of my viewers. Now, we're just going to go to the first location. I'll see you there, guys. Alright guys, now we're here on 138th Street between Lenox and Park. The reason why we're here is because this is the first location. This is St. Mark's Church. Now the reason why St. Mark's Church is one of the locations that I brought you to is because, you know what, let me just show you what it says on the sign of the building. See, on this site, Marcus Garvey held his first public meeting in the United States in the year 1916. This speech was actually organized by A. Philip Randolph, who was a fan of Marcus Garvey's views on black empowerment and black unification. So he organized an audience in St. Mark's Church for Marcus Garvey to come and make his first speech. Now, Marcus Garvey has spoken his views in front of people before, but he's never spoken in front of an audience of this magnitude. And the story goes is that actually during his speech, Marcus Garvey became so nervous that he actually fell off the stage. And this was a great embarrassment. And it's just a lesson. It's a lesson in life that sometimes you embark on certain endeavors and you might take your first step and you might trip, but all you can do is just dust yourself off, get up, and then just try to continue on that endeavor, because the only way you're going to succeed is if you continue trying until you reach that goal. And Marcus Garvey, he didn't make that embarrassment stop him. He fine-tuned his speech technique, studied some other great speakers, and he became the great orator that we know him to be today. So just remember, yes, this is St. Mark's Church. This is one of the locations that if you're in Harlem, you should take a visit, because this has some great history in black history and great history in the whole black empowerment movement and Marcus Garvey's movement with the UNIA. So I'm going to take you to another location. I'll see you there. We're back here, guys. We're still on 138th Street, just a few blocks up. We're in between Adam Clayton Powell and Lenox Avenue. Now, what the location that I really brought you here for, it doesn't really exist anymore. This was a location called Liberty Hall. Liberty Hall was a base location for the UNIA. There was one established in Jamaica. When he came to Harlem, of course, there was one established in Harlem. And as the UNIA grew across the nation, there was always a Liberty Hall. The purpose of Liberty Hall was to have weekly meetings where African Americans came together. They had meetings on how they want to improve themselves, how they want to improve the neighborhood and the community that they live in, opening up different businesses and becoming more independent. Yeah, I'm here walking down 138th Street right now, and you can still see the remnants of history as you walk down. Just if you open your eyes, you'll see things like this. You see that? Of course, this doesn't apply to now because we don't really have horses in New York City, but back then, 100 years ago, that was the main mode of transportation, and this was actually a street. Not really associated with Marcus Garvey, but just a piece of history. All right, we're here now on 135th, right off the intersection of Lenox and 135th, where across the street you can see this is Harlem Hospital right here. By the intersection you can see over there, that's the Schomburg. Really, this is the location where the UNIA had their main office in 1919. Well, really at the beginning of 1919, the main office of the UNIA was 36 West 135th Street. And then later on in the year, they actually moved to the address of 56 West 135th Street. I'm on 135th Street now, but those addresses no longer exist. The address, as you can see, this is called Lenox Terrace. Now, Lenox Terrace, the first building that was completed in Lenox Terrace was in 1958. So that's way after Marcus Garvey existed. But during Marcus Garvey's time, right here where you see this big open section, was a building that was actually the headquarters for the UNIA. And this is the Metropolitan Church. Now this building right here, the Metropolitan Church, in 1919, this building was actually Lincoln Theater. And right next door to this theater was the office of the UNIA. It's no longer here right now. These are new developments, not really new, but new to that time. These developments were built in the 1950s, decades after Marcus Garvey lived in Harlem. But this little alleyway right here is where the structure stood. That was the headquarters of the UNIA. And many things happened out of this headquarters. But this is the location where basically the Black Star Liner started. The Negro World, which was a newspaper that Marcus Garvey also published. Everything that was done by the UNIA was coming out of this location right here. And this was basically the central point of the UNIA. And Marcus Garvey had an office that was in this building. Now, quick story, in 1919, on October 14th, a man by the name of George Tyler entered the office looking for Marcus Garvey because he was disgruntled with him. He was actually approached by Amy Ashwood where he asked if he could speak with Marcus Garvey. Amy Ashwood told him that Marcus was not available. An argument ensued. While he was yelling at him, Marcus actually heard him downstairs of the structure and came down to see what was going on. When he saw Marcus, he pulled out a gun and he started shooting at him. He actually hit Marcus 2 times. But Amy Ashwood, brave woman that she is, protected her leader, and he wasn't her husband yet, but she actually tackled this young man and was able to stop him from assassinating Marcus Garvey. And this happened right here. Now, this is a piece of history that we probably would have lost if it's not being documented like this. Is why I'm doing a video like this. I want to document certain things that we should know. And this, thank God that Amy Ashwood did what she did, because we could have lost Marcus Garvey on that day, and a lot of things wouldn't have happened, because after that day is when his popularity grew. Marcus Garvey, at his height of his popularity, he had over 2 million followers worldwide. And that's just, when you even look at the subscription of the Negro World, it went around the globe. And that was 2 million subscribers to the Negro World. And it's not subscribers like today when you're on Twitter or on Facebook or even YouTube. Negro World was a newspaper, so there's 2 million copies of that newspaper going out. How many people you think read just one newspaper? So his following was way more than 2 million. But this is part of the history that I really think that we should really know and we should really be documented. And if you're ever in the area, just come and visit. This little alley right here is where the UNIA headquarters stood. Thank you for supporting the channel, and always, all I'm asking you is just please hit me with a like if you like this video. Please share the video if you believe that someone could gain some wealth of knowledge from this video. And hit me with a subscribe. Remember, click that notification bell when you subscribe. And see you in the next video. All right, guys?
Bread man, make myself your lively, is not a dead man.